Video games have you hooked. You play for hours, you buy coins, but yet you aren't making actual progress in real life. You can level up in video games, but you're stuck in the same place in reality. So, what should you do? You should treat life, the reality, the real thing, like a video game. Here's how you do it. The first step, of course, is to stop playing video games. This isn't adding any value to your life. First of all, when you're playing video games, you have poor health, you don't want to exercise because you want to play the game and level up, and overall there's no benefits to it. You don't have any face-to-face interactions, your health sucks, and you just lack social skills. So stop playing video games, it's hindering your health and your life progress, because when you play video games, you can't take care of yourself. But if you want to start taking care of yourself after quitting video games, then I suggest you to start taking magnesium glycinate to help you sleep better. I use this before I go to sleep and it helps me be more relaxed and more recovered. And if you want some, I'll link it in the description below. The second step is to find a hobby, a sport, or another skill that would add more value to your life. What that means is that if you're a student, take your academics more seriously. Find a subject that you can obsess with or dive more deep into, or just try to get your grades up if your grades are terrible right now. If you're an athlete, do training camps, grind, have that summer grind if you're in the summertime, especially right now, grind. Especially if you want to make it to the next level, you have to put in the work, take care of your body, but also try to fill that time with good, positive things. So if you're in the summertime, try to learn a new skill, work a part-time job, because those skills are better than the skills you're actually learning in video games. And some skills that you can learn, which I find valuable today, is coding. Coding, you're gonna use it whenever you like it or not, so it's better to learn now when you're young. But also sales. If you don't know how to talk to people, if you don't know how to sell something, the best time for you to learn is now. And sales is something I never learned, and that's something I wish I learned, because I feel like my public speaking skills, my day-to-day social skills of being able to kind of convince or tell them a story, it's harder because I don't know how to talk and I don't know how to sell anything. So if you're young out there, learn how to code so you can make anything. But two, learn sales because you gain the ability to talk to people, to socialize, and convince. I may or may not have mentioned this because these are only examples, but pick something that actually adds positive value to your life. It may or may not be coding or sales skills for you, or it may not be sports, but it could be academics. It could be learning a new interest, or trying a new interest, or trying new things. It could be things like that. And this is part of treating your life like a video game, right? You're putting time and energy towards a new skill. And when you play video games, that's the same thing that you're doing. You're putting more time, more energy into the skills that you want in that video game. Usually that time and energy requires money in that video game world, which then you could buy a new skill or at least learn it. You know, there's always points in that game where you can allocate to a certain skill or mastery. This is the same concept. The tokens that you have is energy and time, and you use those towards the things that you want to master. Realistically, you can always redact your tokens, because in video games you can't, but in real life you can, and that's called quitting. But you still need to use them and use them effectively. You can't use your tokens on something that isn't going to take you forward to your life, because these tokens run out throughout time. Although in video games you're able to accumulate these tokens, in real life it's the opposite. Your tokens will start to decrease with your age. So it's better to spend all your tokens right now. Learn new skill, meet new people, learn new things about academics, or go to seminars, socialize. Just live your life, stay away from the video games that are taking your life, your memories away. The third step is to play life like you can't restart. And of course, you know this is true, you can die in real life, but in video games, you know you have another try, you have another shot, you can just restart, resend everything, and just forget about your mistakes that you made throughout your game. But the beauty is that you can make up your mistakes to be more strategic, because things are more valuable because of your tokens are depleting, so you don't want to waste this game. And what I like to relate it to is, it's basically hardcore Minecraft. If you die, you lose everything. So why would you want to waste a life and your time on something that isn't actually going to take you forward? And with video games, if you don't have that same drive and intensity as you do for video games with life, you're going to crumble. And soon enough, right now, or maybe in the future, you'll feel stuck because you don't have anywhere to go. And that is due to your lack of direction. And I get it. Video games give you a sense of direction. There's an objective, there's a goal or a quest that you have to fulfill, which then takes you through a journey on how to accomplish that goal. The same concept applies to life. You have a goal, but it's not going to be given to you. You're going to have to find it. In order to find that goal, you have to try new things, do a life audit, evaluate what your life is. If you want a life audit, there's a meeting link down below. But if you want to find what you are purposeful, look at the bigger picture of your life, see what you want to impact, what you like, what you want to dive more deeply into, and then break down the steps to start the progress of your journey. And you don't have to have every step figured out, as long as you start and then start to figure out, oh, what are the steps I can take in order for me to go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. And this is what I like to call reverse engineering. But this can also be a problem if you spend more time planning than taking action. So what I suggest is find your goal, try to reverse engineer that, but don't spend so much time figuring out what step to take at step 10 when you're trying to start at step 1. Try to have a general idea of what the steps are and start taking the first step, which then allows you to know which path to take. Because when you start, although you have 10 steps to that goal, it's like a hiking trail. When you first start, there's multiple directions you can go. And although one may be the step that you planned out, some things can happen. There could be a bear that blocks another path. There can be a natural disaster, things like that. But this is the general idea. You may plan to go one step, but then something happens. Life is unexpected. So if something happens and you're so hardcore onto this step-by-step plan and you can't adapt, you're going to give up. So that's why I like to say, have a general idea on what steps you want to take, but keep in mind that you're going to learn along the way. Things are going to change, so just take the first step, have the general idea of what steps you should take, but also consider that there may be better options out there that can take you to the path at a better and efficient route than the one you originally planned. Because first, planning takes a lot of time, especially if you want a detailed plan, and 2, that adds more dopamine into your system because you're like, oh, I feel accomplished because I'm writing the step down, and I feel some sense of dopamine and accomplishment of reaching that goal or that step, even though I'm not there yet. So gain dopamine from real life progress. Live life to the fullest. You may not see it now, but you'll love life more once you start quitting video games and start using that philosophy onto your real life. If you want to know 4 habits that can change your life, I suggest you to check out this video right here.